We're back with Richard David. Richard, as you interact with your constituents and listen to them, what is the most popular or prevalent issue they have?
It depends on the part of the neighborhood I'm in, and these are neighbors. If I'm in Richmond Hill, a lot of people talk about neglect. A lot of people feel like government doesn't exist in their neighborhood. They don't see any services. They don't see any programs. They don't get any help. And so it's a neighborhood that thrives because that's where our little Guyana is and our beautiful shopping district. But it thrives in spite of government. And so it changes. When I go to South Ozone Park, the other part of the district, a lot of people care about public safety. They talk about their homes being burgled and people going and robbing them when they're not home. They talk about property prices and the rate of taxes continuing to go up. When I go to across the Van Wyck, right, we have this sort of man-made barrier. I go to South Jamaica. A lot of people talk about their kids and their interactions with police and how there isn't really a good balance between the community and the police and how those relations impact young men of color, black men in that district. That's been a big challenge. Joblessness, huge challenge. Unemployment, where people can't find not just a job, but even if they want to go to the grocery store, they can't find healthy foods. There's not a gym or any kind of public facilities that's encouraging health and wellness. When I go to Rochdale Village, which is a middle-income co-op, the second largest Mitchellama in the country, in the world, that's only because it exists in the United States, though. The issues there are really about transparency. It's like a city within a city. They generate their own power and they have their own public safety and all of that. But a lot of people worry that their monthly fees that they're paying they don't know where that money goes, and they don't agree with how the resources are spent. And so they want greater transparency around board decisions. They have a co-op board, the Rochdale Village Board of Directors. They want decision making to be more open. They want it to be more democratic, and they want a greater say in how the organizations run.
You become elected, the demand on your time is going to go up exponentially. How do you plan to deal with this?
I don't know what I'm getting into. No, I mean, I don't know. I'll see when I get there. But here's what I do know. When I was vice president of the Economic Development Corporation, let me give you a schedule of my day. Mm-hmm. I'd wake up and I'd go to work. I had all these employees, all these projects. I'd get it done. Then I'd go to school because I was getting my master's at night. I'd finish at about 10 o'clock. Then I'd take the train to get home. It'll be an hour 30 minutes. When I got home, I used to be on the board of a nonprofit organization that was helping kids in our neighborhood. Every night we would have a project or something to discuss or review or comment on. I probably wouldn't go to bed, so that would take another 2 hours, right? And then I have homework because I'm still a student, right? I wouldn't go to bed until 3 in the morning probably, and then I'd wake up and do it all over again. And you know what? I'm so proud that I made those sacrifices, because they've made me a better person. They've made the people around me achieve so much more. And that's what I want to do here. Now, I may get a little thinner. I may get a little grayer. And if you're watching at home, I'm already seeing the grays. So in some ways, I don't know what's ahead of me, but yeah. I think I'm prepared.
What are some encouraging words you usually hear from people in the community about running for office?
It's about time.
About time.
It's about time. And I should say this too, and I should have said this earlier. When you're in this kind of work, and I've been in the neighborhood doing this kind of work since I was in high school, people always tell you, run for office, do this. And there's always this second thought that that's actually what you're planning to do. And so all along the way, people had been pushing me and encouraging me, do this. I'm so happy to have a lot of those people by my side today, here supporting me in this journey and making this decision. I'm really happy that my family and my friends were a part of the decision making and pushing me to help do this. I have a great career. I'm doing really well. I don't feel like when I get home at night, though, my community where I sleep and where I intend to continue living is doing as well as it can. And I want to do better here.
For those moments when doubt creeps in, we're human. Doubt will find us no matter how much we hide. Those moments when doubt creeps in, and you're probably second guessing, what or who gets you out of that mindset?
So, I say if I'm elected to the city council, because it's never been done. What I'm trying to do here, we don't come out and vote as much as we should. We like candidates, but I'm running in a primary, and we always say that, well, that's not the real election. Candidates like me won't move forward. This is a boxing match, right? It's 2 rounds. If you don't make it past the first round, you don't get to the second round. I don't really. I'll tell you this. So Dennis Walcott recently passed away on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I began looking at some of his old poems that I had been a fan of. And this isn't something I do normally. It's something I do very rarely. And, Love After Love continues to stay with me because it talks about finding yourself and finding your passion and your purpose. And that's given me a lot of motivation. And, of course, there's a lot of self-doubt, right? A lot of people will tell you things that are negative or try to break your spirit. And we've been taken advantage of as a community, right? A lot of people gain our trust and then squander it. And so when I go out there, I try to tell people, don't give up. We got to try again because, that's what people did in the Caribbean, right? We weren't all free. If we just said, let's leave it like it is, guess where we'd be today? If we don't keep fighting, for everything that we have, nobody's going to give it to us. The faster we realize that although we're in the United States, nothing is given to us, we're going to be so much further along.
What surprised you the most about this journey?
What surprised me? Coming on the show, I didn't think I'd meet all these people. I'm meeting an incredible amount of people from all walks of life. A lot of people, by and large, being incredibly encouraging. That's been, a surprise. I didn't know what I'd be up against, and so far, I feel like I've just been encountering incredible friends and allies along the way.
What do you say is most challenging for you as a candidate?
The most challenging thing is having people believe that you can win, right? That we can win, because it hasn't been done before. And the first step in believing that you can do something, I read this on a Facebook status on the way here. I believe it, though. The first step to believing you can do something is for you to believe and accept it yourself first, because it doesn't start anywhere else. That's my message to people. If everyone out there is going to tell us it's not our time, we can't do this, he doesn't have what it takes. I like him. He's a great kid. He has bright ideas. I just don't think he can do this, right? But then who can, right? Look at my opposition. I'm willing to put my record and my integrity and everything I stand for up against anyone in this race. And I guarantee you, if you did a fair analysis and take self-doubt out of the question, I will be the last candidate standing. It's a little too overconfident. Maybe.
Let's take self-doubt out of the question.
Yes.
What is driving you?
Right now, I got a Volkswagen. What's driving me? I'm motivated. I'm always looking for challenge. I'm always looking to make things better, and I'm always looking to improve myself. This is a step in a journey that I'm taking, and I'm hoping a lot of people will join me in. People are motivating me along the way. We're doing incredible with donations. We have the highest number of small donors of anyone in New York City, including the mayor of New York City. Do you know what that's like? We have over 100 and something candidates running in this year, 2017. And for me to have the highest number of small donors, of people who actually live in our district, giving $10, this is a grassroots movement we're starting. I couldn't be more proud of that.
So I want to ask you this question. You said this has never been done before. So there's no blueprint. You were the architect of this pioneering movement. Where do you draw your strengths? Where do you draw your ideas? What do you draw upon to guide you?
So, in some ways, it has never been done in this neighborhood. But when we extrapolate, when we look beyond that, Obama was the first black president. We have a lot of young people who were elected in New York City, younger than me. You know, a guy who's a good friend who was in a neighboring district, he was 23 when he got elected, right? So we set these barriers up for ourselves. We need this degree and that experience. You just got to care, I think.
Yes. Stop right here. I have to get you to repeat that. So our listeners, young people, and so on that are listening, you have to repeat it. What you just said.
You know. So if you wanna run for office and you wanna do a good job, I'll tell you this, right? I'm not an elected official, but I've been around them. A lot of the youngest people on our city council right now, they're all over New York City, under 25 even, under 30. The youngest person that I know that's closest, he's in Ozone Park, and that's, comes against our district. He was 23 when he got elected. 23, he had not even finished school. People take a chance on him. And he's one of the smartest, brightest, most hardworking elected officials we have. 8 years later, right? And he was 23. No one was saying he needed a master's, he needed 10 years of experience. I happen to have those things. But, we face different challenges along the way. If I did this 10 years ago, believe me, people would just, discount me. I'm hoping I don't get discounted now. I got all these things, right?
There's a statement that I wanted you to repeat. But I'm gonna remind you of what you said, because I think it's important. You said you have to care.
Yeah, you have to care. Look, it's not. I can have look, President Bush. If people remembered him, right? He went to Yale University, the top college in the country. A lot of people felt like he didn't care, right? And that's what it comes down to. If you don't care about people, when they come to you with a complaint, guess what you're gonna do? Probably nod your head and walk away and forget it the moment they leave your eyesight. That's the kind of elected official we don't need in New York City. We don't need more of. We need people who are actually there to solve our basic problems, right? Our kid gets arrested. Who are you going to call, right? They don't have to go through the routine process and probably end up in juvie. There are things that you can do, and your elected officials can help you with the help of the district attorney. Our community is left out of all of these solutions.
What would you say are people most surprised to learn about you when they get to know you?
They're most surprised to learn. It depends on who. That I'm 31, so I people tell me all the time, "You look so young. How young are you?" And I used to tell people I'm 25 years old just because it's a nice number and you don't want to age past it. I'm 31 though.
Well, let's take another break.
J'ai quitté mon pays pour venir ici. Je ne peux pas imaginer ma vie sans ma musique. Parce que pour moi, la musique c'est la meilleure façon de communiquer avec les gens. quitter mon pays pour venir ici. Je ne peux pas.
We are back with Richard David. Richard, to date, or let us say this, what is the idea of the American dream mean to you?
Wow, you're gonna hit me with the hard questions now.
Oh, that should be easy.
You know,
You bought your house, you bought your home or your house at 25. If that is not the American dream, what is? So, since you preempt the second question, the second part of my question, since you have bought your house at age 25, would you say that that was part of the American dream for you?
I'm not a deeply idealistic person, so I don't. At the time, I'm sure I wasn't like, celebrating that I achieved the American dream. But the reality is, for a lot of people, myself included, owning a home. My dad was never able to own a home. When my mom bought our first home, we lived in the basement, right? And we only recently moved out of that basement. Home ownership is incredible. It makes you feel like you belong. It makes you own property, you own land, and you know our people, we want to own, right? That matters, and it matters to me. It's certainly a part of the American dream. But more lately, the American dream I think is changing. The American dream now means is my kid going to get an education, right? That matters to a lot of people, and it's changing. Are we going to have the same rights as everyone else, right? Because I look brown or I look Muslim, does that mean I'm going to get stopped at the airport? Is that the American dream? Right? It wasn't for a long time. So I think it continues to be redefined, but home ownership is definitely a big part of it.
In the chat room, Tangerine said, Richard, I believe in your commitment to becoming the first Guyanese to represent your community in City Hall. What would you take away from this journey when you finally make history?
I'm having a lot of fun, and so some of the great people I'm meeting along the way is Tangerine, who is so supportive, and that's what we have to. We have to support each other, right? That's how we're going to get this. And I tell you, when I'm in City Hall, these issues are going to be the ones that I'm going to champion. I want to see, a Guyana Independence Day event happen in New York that's bringing us all together, that we can be proud of. These are things that don't happen now, little things, right? But what am I going to champion in City Hall? Is that Tangerine's question?
Our question is, what would you take away from this journey when you finally make history? Yes.
I don't know. I'm going to take away great friendships and hard work. And I'm hoping that I inspire a lot of really great people along the way who will also run for office. Not against me, I hope, right? But we should be achieving so much more than we have achieved politically. We have my really cool friend Roxanne in Brooklyn, who is the senator, and she's of Guyanese origin. I'm proud of that, right?
We have to bring her on the show sometime. We really do.
Yeah, so I think that we can achieve a lot more, and I hope that this is in addition to Roxanne, it's another opening for more people who care and who don't want to be career politicians to run, who have a simple goal, and like I have a simple goal and a timetable that they want to achieve it in, and then go on to do something even more incredible.
If you could send one, you're talking about goal, let's use this opportunity to tell your constituents about this goal. If you could send one message to your constituents, what would that be?
We need good governance to be restored in our district and resources to come back. It's been missing for 6 years and everyone's spending our money. We got to put an end to it. We need to bring respect for the people and for the process back to this district. We're being disrespected the way things are right now. And I'm not going to stand for it, and I hope you're not going to stand for it either.
Talk to the young people specifically.
Find me on Snapchat. No, the reality is, look, a lot of young people are really inspired by my race. Everywhere I go. Yesterday, I was at on Sunday, I was at the Bronx Pagua Parade, and I didn't even know there was a Bronx Pagua Parade, but this young kid comes up to me and he's whispering to me, "Can I get a photo just in case you win?" And he was so excited, right? That's a lot of young people are really motivated And the way they connect to our campaign is through social media.
Mhm.
So we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Snapchat, YouTube. You find any social media outlet, we're there. Richard David NYC.
Say that again.
Richard David NYC. I have two first names. Richard David
Mhm.
NYC.
How was social media empowered you? How was social media really helped you in this?
Social media has played a big role. We had a fire in Richmond Hill recently, and a whole block of small businesses burnt down, and it displaced families who lived above these one and two family shops, homes. In the process, we put out an appeal. Let me just explain how powerful this has been. We put out an appeal at 3 p.m. rather. By 5 p.m., the mandir that had become the center for displaced families was overflowing with goods. The status that we posted had over 100,000 views. It had over 1,000 shares and 100,000 views. It was all over Facebook. It was incredible. We raised money. We helped these people. That's what we can do with social media. And I got a couple likes on my Facebook page in the process. That didn't hurt either. Because the truth is, if you have a Facebook page and nobody likes it, then you don't get your message out.
Yes.
I want people to like my page so that they can hear what I'm talking about. So if you go to facebook.com and Richard David NYC, you're going to see a lot of posts. You're going to see videos and photos of all the things I'm doing, including this interview and our website. The last plug, richarddavidnyc.com.
That's why we're here. We are here to empower you and encourage you to win this race. We're not saying if. Andrea and I are not saying if.
I know, you guys
We're
are
saying when. So, we are behind you. What do you know about politics today you wish you knew 5 years ago?
Not everyone's your friend. In this process, for a long time, I've been involved, and a lot of people are supportive, and they'll say, do this. But the moment you actually turn to them for help, they're not there for you, and you've helped them all along the way. I'm really blessed, and I think I've just been so fortunate to have an incredible amount of people surround me. But you'll remember the people who you helped and who did not help you, it's kind of they're not gonna do anything about it. It just kind of makes you think twice.
That is very true. That is so very true.
It's kind of a downer though, so I don't talk about that one.
What is your deepest concern, your deepest fear for your community?
My deepest fear for this race is that a lot of people are putting a lot of trust in me. A lot of people are putting a lot of faith in our campaign. I don't want to let anyone down.
When and where are you most yourself?
When and where? I have this group of friends that we go to a roti shop sometimes, and I'll put the PG version out there, and we just have a good time. And I think there I'm most myself.
Richard S. David, right?
Yes. And my dad he realized they were giving away middle names for free, so I have a lot.
Any advice for young people wanting to break into public office? You mentioned a few of young people who are in office in their 20s and so on. But for those young people, those teenagers thinking about public office, any advice for them?
Yeah, think about, so public office, if you want to run for public office, run for public office, right? New York City gives you, every time you get $1, every time someone donates $1 to you, New York City will give you $6. That makes your race that much easier. But there are a lot of other things you can do too. Your community board, I've been on my community board for 9 years. I was actually the youngest member on my community board, and I might still be. I've been on, and you work on really cool things. It opens a lot of doors. You get to see things that you wouldn't normally see. There are police precinct councils. There are nonprofits that you can volunteer with. In fact, it's very hard, if you actually think about it, to find a place that you can't plug in. Now, what I always say to people is think local. Think about your own backyard, right? Don't try to be like George Clooney going to save Sudan, right? Think about right in your own backyard what you can do, because there are people struggling there. And you can make your biggest impact right in your own backyard. You don't have to go and save the world. Although in the process, you're actually helping a lot of people.
When are you most happy, Richard?
When? Around my birthday? I don't know.
Okay. What are you most proud of?
What am I most proud of?
And I'm
I'm most proud.
Don't tell me you're only third of one.
I'm most proud of my mom.
Your mom. Wow.
I'm most proud of my mom. I'm always going to be the most proud of my mom. My mom did not have a hard. My mom did not have an easy time being a single mother. Having to raise 3 boys. Some of them, were not as academic or well behaved as I think I am. And my mom stood through it all, and she's still there, and she's still a fighter, and she loves us unconditionally. And that is something I hope that I can have. I want to have that. That's an inspiration.
If you could tell her, if you were listening, and you could tell her something directly.
I think she is listening.
What would you say to her?
I'm gonna go out to dinner tonight, and you don't have to worry about where food is coming from. That's where it's coming from. She's always texting me. We don't live together, but my mom's always like, "You eat tonight? You want something?" She's always looking out. My mom's always concerned about like our well-being, and our happiness. And she goes out of her way to make sure that her kids are satisfied. And to this day, so you mentioned that I bought my first home at 25. I couldn't do that without my mom. I bought my second home a couple years later. We had a plumbing issue. My mom is there, like with the plumber, helping me so I can be here for this interview tonight. Without my mom and my brothers and my friends, I wouldn't be able to do all the things I'm doing.
So family and community is very important.
I've always needed a network. I've never been able to do anything that I've achieved alone.
You mentioned network, and that resonates with me a lot because, as I mentioned to you, we're planning the 5th anniversary for CWS, and I could not have done this alone. I am just incredibly grateful and moved with people who have stepped forward, like Tangerine and Claire Patterson and Desiree Etchell and all these amazing people, Jillian Thomas, who stepped forward, Joy Agnes, Richard Young. I mean, these are people, I don't know, you trigger this in me. Just step forward to help, to make this a reality. So I know what you mean when you say network. What are you most thankful for?
What am I most thankful for? I'm as you can tell, I'm not a deeply reflective person, or ideological in a lot of ways. But I'm thankful, and I wake up every day knowing that I have people who love me and support me. That means a lot to me. I have a dad who lives far away but calls me every day. When he doesn't get through, there are 10 voicemails. That's the kind of people that I have around me, and that's what's motivating me and enabling me to achieve even more in my life.
If you could go back in time, Richard, what would you tell that 15-year-old boy?
Let's see. So I was at 15, I was in high school and in Germany. I would tell that kid, don't spend all that money on gel in your hair. That's the first thing.
Gel?
Yeah, I had spiky hair. I was a different person back then. I think I was pretty cool. I had a lot of fun in high school. But I would also tell that kid to keep doing what you're doing, because I felt like I did a lot of things that I'm happy about and I'm proud of today.
Last question. What makes you laugh out loud?
Corny jokes. I love corny jokes. You can tell me a corny joke and nobody else will laugh, but I would be cracking up, because the cornier it is, the funnier it is. I don't know if that's what you had in mind.
No, it's whatever makes you laugh out loud.
I
give
like
you an
corny
opportunity
jokes.
to say something to your constituents.
So the election's on Tuesday, September 12th. You have to be registered as a Democrat to vote in this. You cannot vote if you're not a Democrat. So get registered if you're not registered, or change your party status so that you're not independent or something else. You have to be a Democrat. Now, people are going to say this, and they say this to us all the time. I'm going to vote on election day when it's the actual elections. They say that to you because they know that candidates like me would be out of the way. They don't want you to vote in the primary. But you know that the most important election is actually the primary, because whoever wins the primary goes on. Be a Democrat, vote in the primary on Tuesday, September 12th. It's the day after 9/11. And then tell your friends. I can't do this alone. The fact is, a lot of people don't know me or know my name. I've never been someone who's come on a television, online broadcast show before, getting my name out there. in this process, I'm relying on all the people around me to help me get my name and my message out there, because that's how we're going to do this. In the same way we've built this grassroots movement and fundraising, I think we're going to build a grassroots movement with name recognition. And on election day, we got to bring everyone out. That's what my message is here. If you want to learn more about me and my background and to see what I'm doing, follow me on social media or visit my website. It's richarddavidnyc.com. richarddavidnyc.com.
Well,
how's that?
You hear it here. Wonderful, amazing, very articulate, very confident, and you have some amazing priorities, women and housing and veterans and so on, and education is very important. And so I'm really glad that you're running, and congratulations.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best. I know you are going to win.
I mean, if you keep saying it, then
Yes,
maybe
you
it'll
will.
become
You will.
true.
Well, why run if you don't,
No, I do think we're going to
Yeah,
win,
you are.
and when we win, we're gonna make people's lives better, and you're going to see a District 28 that you don't just come to get roti at the roti shop. You're gonna want to spend time there. You're gonna want to move there, because we want all our people to come back to District 28 or move there for the first time. It's a beautiful place.
I'm looking forward to the celebration party, Richard.
You're already planning the celebration? You mean the one in Guyana or mine?
No, yours in September. So this is Selwyn Collins saying, "Fear not what fear whispers to you. Fear your obedience to it." Good night.